From South Florida, this is Headliners, only on CBS News Miami.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Headliners. I'm Elliot Rodriguez. Right now, we're hearing from the devastated family of a South Florida woman who disappeared in Spain earlier this year. The woman's husband was arrested last week at Miami International Airport. It's in connection with her disappearance. CBS News Miami's Naja Sherman joins us from the newsroom with what one of her loved ones is saying about this.
Her family wants justice. Today we heard from Anna's brother. He credits his sister with shaping who he is today and how she helped him when he moved here to South Florida.
It's been very devastating time to us. We're still in shock.
Felipe Hanau trying to find words for how he, his brother, and mother are feeling right now after learning new information about the disappearance of his sister, Ana Knesevich. She vanished February 2nd in Madrid.
It's insane what we realizing right now, and I just want justice for my sister. That's what we all want.
Ana went to Spain from Fort Lauderdale last December. Friends and family say she was in the middle of a nasty divorce from her husband, David. He's now under arrest in Miami, facing a federal kidnapping charge.
The evidence links him to her apartment the night of her disappearance.
That information coming from a court filing. The night of her disappearance, investigators say someone resembling David was seen on video buying spray paint, spraying it on a surveillance camera at Anna's apartment, and then seen later leaving with a suitcase.
We still have hope that we can find where my sister is. If she's out there somewhere, I just want to tell her that we all love her. We miss her, we support her, we are her voice.
The filing goes on to reveal more incriminating information, linking a car allegedly rented by David to the street where Ana lived the night she vanished. Felipe said these past couple of months have been hard on their family.
We're shocked. We learned of this very recently, so it's terrible. We feel great betrayal.
He does find comfort remembering the last conversation he had with her.
It was a very good conversation. It was about hope for the future, and it was based on love.
We reached out to David's attorney. He said at this point he's not commenting. Meanwhile, David is due in federal court Friday for a bond hearing. In the newsroom, Naja Sherman, CBS News Miami.
Well, new and stricter rules could be coming to bars and nightclubs in Doral. The changes could come after a shooting at City Place injured 7 people and killed a security guard. The proposals, which include limiting alcohol sales, are causing quite the debate between business owners in Doral. CBS News Miami's Larry Seward has a look at what was decided.
He fought back tears. George Castellano Sr. with his wife Janine. 1 month after gunfire killed their 23-year-old son George in a shooting that wounded 7 others at City Place, the couple expected council members to push change forward.
So something like that, won't happen to anybody.
Council debated 2 ordinances. Both require bars and nightclubs in the city to install cameras at all entry and exits, use gun detectors on customers, hire security guards, and off-duty police licensed by the state. Mayor Christy Fraga pushed one to cut off alcohol sales at 1:30, a half hour earlier than currently allowed.
Rollbacks are extreme.
Almost a dozen business owners or their lawyers took turns begging council to reconsider.
We don't believe that restricting these hours is going to have a sizable impact on that behavior.
CEO of City Place restaurant Cuba Cantina says sales are down 50% since the shooting.
City Place is crippled and in need of crutches. Those crutches are you.
After they spoke,
No.
Motion fails.
council shot down the mayor's plan, then considered another option. Councilwoman Maureen Porras pushed to keep current 2 a.m. alcohol sales limits with stricter enforcement. It would allow bars and nightclubs to apply for permits for an extra hour of business, but the permits would be off limits for places and areas with high concentrations of people, places like downtown Doral and City Place.
Motion passes.
Business owners left saying it still threatens their livelihoods. Mayor Fraga, the only person who voted no, criticized the move too.
I really really did believe that the most important thing was the peace, tranquility, and safety of our residents, and they were very vocal on that they did not want to see this extend past 2 a.m. So really the ordinance doesn't do much.
For Castellano's parents, talk about time limits on alcohol sales took away from what matters most to them: better security to keep another family away from the pain this couple cannot escape.
Start doing whatever the ordinance says, putting metal detectors, maybe light, vests for them to be worn, more protection for the security guards. And not only my son, there are the family members that I don't want them to go through what I'm going through now, that it's awful.
This issue is hardly settled. It passed the first reading but has to survive a second, and several council members say the time limits on alcohol sales could still change. In Doral, Larry Seward, CBS News, Miami.
When we come back, summer's almost here, but the question looms, will our teachers get paid more next year? The latest push for pay next.
From South Florida, this is Headliners, only on CBS News Miami.
Welcome back. I'm Elliot Rodriguez. Some Florida teachers are barely making ends meet, and a new National Education Association report ranks the Sunshine State 50th in terms of teacher pay. As you might guess, it has teachers, their unions, and school board members talking about this. As CBS News Miami's Peter Dench found out, low salaries are prompting some teachers to leave.
Alicia Gant has been a school teacher for 15 years and as a single mother has struggled to make ends meet. That's why she said she was leaving Barbara Goldman Senior High School for another job. An emotional teacher, Alicia Gant, tells us why she is leaving her South Florida home.
Recently, I had to make the hard decision and I'm sorry I'm getting emotional, because my family is here. I have to leave Miami-Dade County and I have to move to another state where I can afford to live, because I can't afford to live here on a salary.
Gant had been forced to find 2 other jobs to supplement her teacher's salary.
I had to start my own business. I'm a travel agent as well, and I also produce logos, make shirts. It's very stressful, very time consuming. You don't get a lot of sleep, but you have to do what you have to do to survive.
Gant says her current base salary is $51,000, and she will be leaving to teach in Washington, D.C.
I got an offer letter, and my starting salary is $99,000.
The National Education Association says the average teacher salary nationwide is $69,544, but the average teacher salary in Florida is $53,098, 50th in the nation. The NEA says the minimum living wage for a family with 1 adult and 1 child is $58,970. Teacher Renee O'Connor says she too was forced to find 2 other jobs.
I have a full-time job as a teacher, and then I have 2 part-time jobs. I sell items on eBay, and I also tutor 3 to 4 days out of the week, and sometimes on the weekend. All of this work that I do for one of the most important jobs in this country, and I'm not being paid nearly what I should be.
The United Teachers of Dade says there are openings for 500 teachers, and conditions have led to shortages.
You have high inflation, you have poor wages, you have teachers that cannot stay in this profession and in this career as much as they love their students.
It's unacceptable to have teachers struggling to make ends meet, facing the harsh reality of having to choose between paying rent, paying for gas, paying for food.
In response, a spokeswoman for the State Department of Education says that when the governor signs a budget for the upcoming fiscal year, the state will have invested more than $4 billion in raises for teachers since he took office. For the full report from the Department of Education, go to our website, cbsmiami.com. In Miami Lakes, Peter Dench, CBS News, Miami.
Keeping on the school front, Miami-Dade County Schools have announced a new effort to keep students safer on school buses. The district says it is leading the largest such initiative in the country. CBS News Miami's Maribel Rodriguez explains how it works and why you'll want to obey the rules of the road.
If you come upon a stopped big yellow school bus on the road, you better stop, and this is not a warning.
It's large, it's yellow, it's designed to be the most seen thing on the road, and more often than not these days, because of the increased incidence of distracted driving and people who are otherwise very much in a hurry to get to where they're going, we've seen all too many times in Florida and around the country very serious tragedies and sometimes even fatalities.
And because of that, Miami-Dade County Public Schools has partnered with Miami-Dade Police and Bus Patrol to launch South Florida's first and largest school bus stop arm camera enforcement program in the nation.
There's a serious student transportation safety issue on the roads here in Miami-Dade County. Although Bus Patrol is happy to be here, we are not a silver bullet, but we're really happy to be part of the solution to make the roads safer for all students in the Miami-Dade County.
So how will it work? All 1,006 Miami-Dade public school buses will be equipped with stop arm cameras. So once the bus stops, the cameras are rolling and will automatically detect when a driver is illegally passing. Then AVA, which is the AI technology they are using, will notify police and the driver will receive a $200 ticket in the mail.
It takes a village to educate a child, right? It's a common education saying. Well, I think this partnership proves it also takes a village to keep a child safe.
So keep in mind, as of Wednesday, if you do pass a stopped Miami-Dade public school bus illegally, you will be fined. And now, aside from the stop armed cameras, there will also be cameras installed inside the buses for the safety of the students as well as the bus drivers. Maribel Rodriguez, CBS News, Miami.
When we come back, see how the quick thinking of some Miami police officers and firefighters helped save the life of one of their own. Next.
From South Florida, this is Headliners, only on CBS News Miami.
Welcome back. I'm Elliot Rodriguez. A South Florida man is lucky to have all of his limbs after being bit several times by sharks. The chilling attack happened in the Bahamas, and the young man was flown back to South Florida for treatment. CBS News Miami's Steve Mugeri tells his story of survival.
There are people that have survived one shark attack. Marlon Wakeman survived 2. He tells me if he didn't get out of the water as quickly as he did, more sharks would have kept biting him.
I'll basically show you guys the amount that I can.
Marlon Wakeman can barely bend his knee.
That's about it right there.
He's on crutches after 2 sharks bit him. One on his shoulder,
Nicked me there.
one on his leg, where the teeth dug into his kneecap.
You know, if I was in the water for another 2 seconds, there definitely was, another shark right there that probably would have grabbed me, and who knows what would have happened after that.
Marlon was on Long Island in the Bahamas when he fell into the water while trying to get into a boat. Marlon says this area is known as a shark's den.
When I ended up in the water, I pretty much knew what was going to happen.
Adrenaline kicked in after the first bite. He was dragged underwater, but luckily the shark let go. Another one bit him on his shoulder as he was pulling himself back on the boat.
I didn't really feel like sharpness at all or like my skin getting cut. It was more just like something, clenched me around my knee and just pulled me in. A lot of pressure, I would say. And then the one on my shoulder kind of just felt like a punch more than anything.
When you wake up in the morning and start walking around in your boat, these sharks come to your boat.
The captain of the boat told Marlon's father, who knew a doctor at St. Mary's Hospital in West Palm Beach. The 24-year-old was flown to the hospital.
As a parent, I can tell you that time really does stand still, and everything in the periphery goes to a blur, and it's the worst text you can get.
His surgeon says the shark that bit his leg likely was at least 7 feet long based on the size of the bite marks. He says the shark just missed biting an artery.
So the fact that there's 20 sharks in there and you were able to get out of there and still have a leg is amazing.
Marlon's stitches came off today, and he's already thinking about going back on the water, but he will be more careful when getting on the boat from the docks.
You're going to go back to that specific spot again?
Yeah, most likely.
Marlon will be in crutches for the next couple of weeks. His doctors recommend that he keep his scars out of the sun as much as possible for the next year. In West Palm Beach, Steve Mugeri, CBS News, Miami.
A group of Miami firefighters and police officers are being honored for saving one of their own, but for them, saving another first responder is a deeper honor than they ever imagined. CBS News Miami's Terry Hornstein talked to the group of heroes and the firefighter they saved.
I don't remember exactly what happened, so I'm going off what somebody else told me, but I was running through past Station 4 is the last thing I remember.
23-year-old Reese Blake, a City of Miami firefighter, almost lost his life during a SWAT medic training 2 months ago.
He was actually next to me while we were running, and I thought he just got a cramp. He fell to the ground and he just
I thought guys go down all the time, and we thought he got a cramp.
But it wasn't a cramp. Reese collapsed and went into cardiac arrest. Quickly realizing what happened, a group of 7 Miami police officers and 7 firefighters jumped into action.
Thank God we had all our equipment with us. We knew what heart rhythm he was in, and then we pretty much shocked him right away. And then we worked and we do what we did, what we're trained to do.
Reese waking up in the hospital 2 days later, but alive.
When it went down, we got there and it was just like work mode, working him, doing what we do. And then it was a couple of us. Once we dropped him off at the once we got a pulse back and we actually dropped him off at the hospital and they were still doing what they were doing, then that's when the wave of emotion hit us all.
The group of heroes honored for saving his life on Wednesday. The real reward, they say, having one of their own back and doing well.
When we actually saw him, it was amazing. It was an amazing feeling.
And the fact that they didn't stumble, they weren't emotionally overwhelmed, that it was just they had a job to do, and my son's alive because of it.
And for Reese, a bond even deeper than ever before.
Much gratitude. I can't even begin to explain it.
In Miami, Terry Hornstein, CBS News, Miami.
And thank you so much for joining us this half hour in Headline. And as always, keep it right here to CBS News Miami for up-to-the-minute breaking news and weather 24 hours a day. Make it a great day.